It's time for a healthy dose of According to the Cassels. And now, please welcome your hosts, Amy and Tray Cassels.
Boom, hey.
Yeah, boom.
What up?
Well, it's always like that intro plays, and then it's like, hi, it's Amy Cassels. Yo, what up? It's Amy.
After 30 times, you still get...
Oh, I thought I put my phone on silent. Put the
Silence
phone.
your phones, please, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, we've got the phone on silent. Have you ever been that one guy in church that where your phone rings and it's like right during prayer, closing or opening?
I turned it on vibrate.
I've had it happen before, just like one time, and I was mortified.
I've had it sitting in the chair loosely, and it vibrates and goes... But I've never had like the ding.
Did you like that? No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry that was on our podcast. I'm talking about church. Okay.
That'd be more
you know
for
what?
you.
We'll just move on. So last week we had Marlise on, and there was a really great podcast. I actually enjoyed listening. Podcast. I enjoyed listening to it and learning.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I enjoyed being there.
While we were in the podcast, it's funny because while we're recording this, you just never know how these are going to turn out. And I got really worried. I was like, oh, I think we went all over the page. But after the finished product came out, it was like, it's so smooth, and you really do learn a lot. So why are you lowering your chair so much?
I don't know. The microphone is really low today.
Well, you got to lift your chair up. You look like Pee-wee compared to me.
I'm just trying to be beneath you, honey.
Mic up.
I'm trying to allow you the stage.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so Trey's sitting. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see he looks like a little 4-year-old sitting in a chair here.
Why you go 4? Why can't I be like a 7-year-old?
But before that, I was in Portland, and we actually recorded the podcast earlier in the week whenever we had Lacey Seeker on with the Cahoots Project. But it was so much fun going to Portland. I went with my best friend, and I have 2 best friends, Brittany. Hey, Brittany. And Amanda. And Amanda came with me, and we went with my mom. And I have to say, it was so much fun without you, Trey.
I wasn't going to say it out loud, but I had an absolute blast with the kids, unchaperoned and unsupervised at home.
It's so...
It was amazing, actually.
Well, I had an amazing time. I think that it is so healthy to leave town with just your friend or your mom or maybe your oldest child, or just
get out.
Just get out, because you know what? I love going on vacations with you, and but guys like to go from point A to point B.
I can't do some of the things you do on vacay.
You're like, okay, where are we going next? And you start to flare your nostrils a little bit.
You just want to float. You want to go, I don't know, let's just go. And then I see something and I want to go do that.
You can't handle it. You just can't just drive.
Bothers me.
So when Amanda and I were there, we were like, okay, we were at the beach, and we're going to go from Newport, and we're going to go to drive all the way to the next town. And then we're like, yeah, we got to get there before they close all the shops. Everything closes at 5. And then it was 4:20, and we would have been there by 4:30, but we saw a Goodwill boutique, and we were like, Goodwill boutique, and turned around and stopped over there.
And if I would have been like, no.
You would have been so frustrated, like, wait, no. What are we doing?
Why are you changing the plan?
You can't handle it.
I can. I choose not to.
Well, I think that's a guy thing. Like, y'all want to know where we're going from point A to point B, and if there's deviations from it, you kind of get your little boxers in a wad.
I think it's because there's things that we do knowingly for you or for our spouses that we don't want to do. And so we want to know exactly what it is so we can be prepared of when it's going to be over.
Okay. Well, another thing that I think that was amazing about just getting out of town, and this doesn't have to be going to some state that's 5 states away. It could be to the next town over. It's just letting go. You get a chance. I had a chance to miss you. By the time I came back, I actually finally missed you. I'm kidding.
That was sweet.
I did miss you the first day. But I think having a vacation away from your spouse gives you a chance to make me miss you. I mean, the abstinent Is it abstinence or abstinence?
Abstinence makes the heart
No,
fonder.
it's absence makes the heart grow fonder.
I don't actually know. John, can you look that up?
Is it
It's absence makes the heart grow fonder.
It is absence.
absence?
Abstinence would.
Oh, abstinence.
Yeah.
Well,
That would be a completely different saying. Yeah.
well, if someone is
That makes the heart fonder too.
well, if you're out of town, then you are having abstinence and absence,
There you
and
go.
your heart is
Fair
growing
point.
fond.
There we
So
go.
my heart grew fond. But yeah, no, I'm not. You know what I'm not gonna say.
You
about
know, I took the kids to the fair. I went to the county fair that night. I had
you were super dad.
birthday party with my friends. I went and played golf on Sunday. By Monday, after the 6th day with 3 kids and trying to do my normal stuff, I was like, where in the Sam hell is this woman?
Well,
It's time to be home.
I also think it
wasn't that we couldn't do it together, because I'm glad you had that time. It was just like I needed my partner. Like this was
Yeah, you were a single dad in it.
This was rough.
But don't you think it's also healthy for the kids to miss mom? It's good for the kids
All of
to.
us did, yeah.
It offers a different challenge because you see all the things that need to be done and that I just normally do, or
Definitely a level of appreciation that gets put right in your face. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Some of the things you may take for granted, some of the things you don't realize are being done behind the scenes, and it's like when it's not being done and you're not there, it's whoa.
But it's
Okay.
it's also probably a good break too for y'all because I'm like on everybody all the time. Like, pick up your stuff. Put this away. Why are the chairs not pushed in?
Oh man, we didn't do none of that. It was like, mom's gone. As long as this place is put back together before she gets home, we're enjoying this week.
Okay, you know what? This just hit me. That's what you used to do when your parents would go out of town. You would trash the place.
God, I'd have yeah.
You would trash the place.
We got so good at literally waiting almost to the last minute before they were going to get home, and then blitz cleaning, like getting things done in hours, not days, where as soon as you were like picking up that last pillow and putting it on the bed, they were walking in the door like, hey mom, how you been? Good to see you. Hey, welcome home.
What was one of the craziest stories about your parents going out of town and a party that y'all had?
I would have to say Christmas. My mom was always big on the Christmas tree. It was her favorite thing to have this beautiful flocked tree, and we put the lights on, and you know how my mom is with ornaments. I mean,
Yeah.
how many ornaments did she give us? So we had tons of ornaments on there.
Are you saying ornaments?
I'm saying what people hopefully can associate with
It's
what goes on
ornaments.
a tree. Whatever. Ornaments.
What at McDonald's?
Washington.
You say
Listen,
Montgomery?
I'm a 3rd generation Texan.
Okay.
You just got here. Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Miss-
originally
Miss
from Portland, Oregon.
So let me tell my Christmas story.
Okay, go finish. Sorry.
Anyway, we had a party. We were fairly intoxicated, and we got into this marshmallow pretzel peanut fight. And we were literally throwing it across the house and the rooms, and it was everywhere. And I don't know
You got in a peanut fight?
we were throwing pretzels and peanuts at each other, and then
In your house?
in the house, in the living room. And then at some point, somebody got upset and went to go jump off the back of the couch onto someone's back, and they moved. And it was a guy named Kelvin Jefferson, actually, and he jumped into the Christmas tree and basically tackled it. And I mean, our jaws dropped. We're like, how in the heck are we going to fix this? And I mean, I got a few other stories at different times that were probably a little different, but in that particular moment, we cleaned up the house, we vacuumed up all the pretzels, we got all the peanuts out, and we thought we put that tree back perfect. And my mom and dad get home, and the first thing she looks at, she goes, "What happened to my Christmas tree?" I was like, "Well, about that." And then months later, she would clean, and she'd go behind the curtains, and she'd get into the window seals, and she was like, "Tracy, why?" And I knew if she's calling me Tracy, I was in trouble. "Tracy, why do I keep finding peanuts and pretzels all over my house? Why is this in the back corner of this window seal?"
And who all was involved in that?
I can't name all the names because there's several people that don't need to be named.
Okay. You're crazy. How old were you?
16, 17, 18.
I
I think the best one though
was never left alone.
we had a
ever
party
like that.
and one of the guys, guy named BJ Tonkovich, actually got intoxicated and he rammed his head into my wall in the living room. And it was at 3:00 in the morning, and my parents were actually coming home the next day at like noon. And I was like, we got to fix this. I got to fix this. So we went to Walmart at probably 4:30 in the morning and bought plaster and paint and that mesh wire, and we did a doctor job on that wall. And I didn't have a backing because there wasn't any insulation right there, so we actually got a Cheerio box, a cereal box, and we cut it out bigger, and we put the cereal box in there, and then we put the mesh thing on there, and then taped and floated it, and let it dry, and then painted it. And luckily, it was behind a little area because we had moved some of the furniture around for whatever reason. And so we moved the furniture back so it hit it. And nobody knew about that until 3 years later. My mom was in the living room and the sun was hitting on the wall just at the right moment, and it had a shadow. And she was like, Tracy, what happened to the wall right there? And it was 3 years later. I was already in college. I was like, well, about that.
Was your sister doing any of this stuff?
No, she typically wasn't around.
Oh my gosh.
If we did, she'd be in her room or she'd be over at her friend's house. But yeah, she probably wouldn't have.
There
let me
is
have
no
those parties.
way in hell that I would have. First off, I was never left alone like that. And second off, I mean, before my parents came home, we didn't have people over very often at all. And if we did, I mean, we would have to walk on the outside edge of the carpet to not mess up the vacuum marks. Like that's how clean
We just
had to
got
keep
really
it.
good at cleaning it.
Yeah. Now I know why. Every time I leave town, you just let the whole house go to crap. And
I don't let it go to crap.
And then y'all clean it up.
I
See what
just-
you're teaching our children.
First of all,
You know what? All right. So we're gonna move on.
jeez,
I'm just
I
gonna
can't even
s-
defend myself.
I'm just gonna say that vacationing is very good, even if it's just a weekend. It's good for your soul. It's good for your heart. It's good for your mind. It's good for your marriage. Your jinx. It's good for your kids. And that's all I have to say about that.
All right.
But so the other thing is, man, after going on our vacations, because we went to Mexico and Oregon, we spent a little too much money. And so we had to do our budget this last week. And we Saturday, we had to sit down with my computer and go over, like, just start from scratch. Like, what are all the expenses? Because the reality is, we will never be blessed with more if we're not responsible with what we have. And that is the absolute truth. And we've seen that over and over in our lives. And every time that we get more disciplined with what we are given in any way, we're able to have more.
Yeah.
But
we did simplify our process.
we
We
did.
had like 6 bank accounts, multiple
Yeah.
ways of doing it. We had a grocery card, we had an overflow card, we had a bills card. It was just like stupid.
Yeah, we were trying. Well, here's the thing: we were trying to use one card for just groceries, and then one card for just the extras. And then when that ran out, then we would just wait till the next week. But
It
we
was
never would
so
wait till the next week.
discombobulated and
We would
messed up.
transfer. Yeah, we would just transfer one account to the other, and then it would not work out in our favor, and then
too
we were
much.
all over the place. And Trey and I this year have just really been trying to get ourselves.
Well, I don't know how
Less
people do their
stressed.
budget, but we decided to get an American Express card, a
Yep.
charge card, because that has
You
to be
have-
paid back every month. You can't run it up. It's you charge and you pay. And we wanted the points, and then we have our bills. So we spend everything we can on the American Express, and then we have everything going into one account, and everything is on draft, and it's 2 places to look, and that's it, not 7.
Well, we have to look at financial health as the same as our spiritual health. It's the same. And it's not. I think our spiritual health is the greatest area of our life that we must focus on. That should be our number one, right? Our relationship with God. But our physical health, our mental health is important. Emotional health, our financial health, because if our finances are not good, then we're not very happy emotionally. We're not happy mentally. It affects everywhere.
And it's not necessarily being good. I mean, we've been in very tight situations. It's more being structured and under control to where we have a plan.
Yeah,
Because
that's
without
what it
that,
is.
it's chaos, and you don't know where things are coming and when they're coming and what you're going to be able to do, when you're going to be able to do it. When you sit down and get a handle on it, it's healthy. Whether you're health in abundance of money or health in abundance of structure, you're still on the right path.
Well, and it's telling your money where it should go. That is important. And thankfully, we are debt free. We became debt free a while ago, a couple of years ago.
Dave Ramsey.
Well, thanks, Davey. My name's Dave, and I'm better than I deserve. And we have our emergency fund and our savings, and that is good. But we were kind of starting to pull from that savings from things that were not significant, that because we were not
Loose.
telling us because we were not telling our money where it should go. So we had to resort to a discipline that I've been avoiding for a long time, but I finally we finally worked it out, and it was kind of silly how I came up with it. But you know what? First, let me tell you, Saturday, Trey and I said, we're sitting down and we're doing this. And y'all know I've talked a lot about stress and how I felt when my stress level rises, I get a migraine.
Go and get an ice pack ready.
Oh my gosh. I got a migraine on Saturday because I was stressing. And I'm so thankful to have recognized where those migraines are coming from, because then I can talk about it. And so I was able to talk about it with you.
Yeah, we kind of talked through that.
Yeah.
And then
so it
diffused
never went full blown migraine.
Yeah, it was pretty good because you communicated.
But we sat there outside. We told the kids, hey guys, y'all go do your thing. Like, go play, go do something. We have to work on these finances. And we had to hold each other accountable to work out our budget.
Avery called it, are y'all finished adulting yet?
Yeah, no. So basically, we came up with a budget, like exactly all of our fixed expenses, all of our variable expenses, and then we have our budget of how much we want to spend on groceries and food and entertainment for the week. And we decided on a number, and then we decided on our savings. And for that number that we decided on, this is where I've always messed up. I've always messed up because I would just get whatever we needed. Well, I would run out of the money because I wasn't paying attention. Well, I had this bright idea to get fake. Don't laugh at me.
I still don't know about this idea, but go for it.
Well, I don't think it's going to work, but it.
So what are you going to say for it?
Well, because it brought me somewhere. So I had this bright idea to have like fake money and keep it in an envelope. And then every time, hold on there, buddy old pal. Every time you spend money, why are you hitting your head up against the mic? No, you know what? Don't answer that. Every time you spend money, you just take some of it out and put that money in the fake money in the spent pile. And the reason why we're using fake money here is because, like Dave Ramsey, he says to get cash, but we're not using cash very much. We're using a credit card. So you're not feeling the spending. But if I had the fake money, which you can buy on Amazon, and then you start with your
Actually
Annie.
looked really real.
Yeah, it does. You put, you have your little Annie envelope, and every time you spend, you just move it over to the next envelope.
Well, when we first got married, so we went back to.
I thought it was
and
genius.
Listen, folks, we're not very good at budgeting, but we've always had one. We're not in our 40s now learning how to handle money. I mean, we didn't get here from making that bad of decisions. But we did Dave Ramsey when we
Were you
first
having
got.
a pride moment there? Or was
I did have a pride moment. I
Okay,
needed to
just prove
rationalize and
yourself.
justify.
Prove
Hey,
yourself.
man, I don't know.
Okay.
Really?
Oh, sorry.
We had the Dave Ramsey system, and you would have those envelopes on the closet door. Do you remember that?
Well, actually,
And we would put
not
all
to
of.
toot my own horn here or
Did
anything.
you already do that?
Toot, toot. No, I did that before I ever even knew about Dave Ramsey.
Oh, my bad.
I waited tables and I made cash. And so I had this was back when you paid your electricity bill at Kroger and your cable at Kroger. So,
But we would get my checks, and I would cash them, and then I'd bring them home, and you'd put them in all of our.
well, that was
envelopes.
after we were married, but whenever we were, okay. But before I was married to you and I worked waiting
You
tables,
were lost.
then I became pound. But I would write on each envelope, okay, there's $100 for electricity and 50 for cable or whatever. And I would I would tack those envelopes to the wall. And then as I made my tips, I would fill up the envelope. So once I filled up the envelope that needed $100, then I closed that one out. And then I would fill up the rest of the envelopes. And then I would have my saving envelope. And then I would have like extra spending envelope.
And that's the good thing about cash is you
That is
see
a good
how
thing
much
about
you
cash.
have. And when it's gone, it's gone.
But how many people are not accepting cash now?
Cash is no longer
And you don't
king.
get airline points for spending cash. So that's why we wanted to use the Amex charge.
But the concept of it was still good. I just don't think it's really feasible
It's
for a
also
lifestyle.
you could look at your spent envelope and go, wait, what did I spend this on? And completely forget.
Well, we were going to get them for the kids. And we were going to teach them the envelope system so they can understand and learn.
Or we could just teach them how to write down and keep a log. So that's what that's where it brought me
The
to.
money's better.
So I went over to Amazon and I'm like, okay, I don't know how much to get or how many dollars this is in here. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to my office and I'm going to find a cute journal that I haven't written in yet. And I found one that my mom got me for Christmas. And basically I just wrote at the top on the first page, I wrote the date and then I wrote that number of what our spending is.
Why am I not allowed to even write in it?
You cannot write in it because your handwriting is bad and my handwriting is good and you will make it look ugly. So therefore, at the end of every day, I write in my pretty handwriting because you are a chicken scratcher.
I'm going to come over and put some chicken scratch on there just to make you mad.
Oh, I will tear the page out and rewrite the whole thing. So basically every day I just look on my American Express app and I just see how much we've spent. And then I add it up on my calculator and then I just write down the total. So I know that for the week I have X amount of dollars or we have X amount of dollars to spend for frivolous, whatever, including groceries and restaurants. And then I subtract it out. And at the end of the week, however much we have left over is what?
Extra?
Rollover minutes. It's
right.
it's AT&T rollover minutes.
No, I called it singular because when you were
Oh
at
yeah,
Singular, they had the
Singular Wireless.
Singular
Remember when I worked at Singular Wireless? That was fun.
You ran through your rollover minutes and you actually went through
I
all your
did.
allotment and you were on probation.
I
at
never had
the
rollover minutes.
Singular Wireless store because you would talk too much on your phone.
I don't understand that. How that happened. Maybe I just liked to converse and have conversations. So
It
whatever.
was 3,000 minutes over your plan.
You know
one
what?
month.
We can move on, Trey.
Okay.
But anyway.
Well, there you go, folks. That's how the
plan-
Cassels handle their budget.
Yeah. But sometimes
have even
but
plan.
sometimes it has to be old school.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. Think about it. In large corporations, these multi-million-dollar corporations, there is somebody that is paying attention to every single dollar. And your house, your business, you're a family unit. You're running finances and keeping up with it. And I don't know, it has felt so freeing to know exactly what we've spent and how much we have left over from what we've budgeted.
I wish I could do what my sister does. Man, that woman, she is regimented on her budget, like down to the pennies.
Well, that's who I got the idea
She's also
from.
an accountant.
She is an accountant. But that's who I got the idea from, is to just
Yeah.
write it down. Okay. So I have to also say this. Trey and I have mentored a young lady who grew up in foster care, and she's had a very, very rough life. And it's just her and her three little girls, 1, 3, and 4. And she makes barely like $12 an hour. And that's if she can get to work, because if there's no babysitter, sometimes the girls are sick, they won't let her go to daycare. So anyway, it's just, I've spent the past couple of days with her, and it is so humbling to be in a position, and it's a blessing for me. I feel blessed that we're able to mentor her and kind of take her under our wing. And we've been kind of doing this for the past couple of years. And we also recently asked the church for help too, because it's more than what we can handle, and it's some things are just outside my scope, and or what our gifts are. But it really has hit my heart this week on some of the things that we spend money on. That it's like, wow. I mean, here's somebody who couldn't even afford tampons or maxi pads and was using toilet paper. I mean, I know that's pretty graphic, but her socks were terrible socks and giving her blisters, and mismatched. Of course I wear mismatched, but it's just that the shoes were old. It's like, and this is how people live every day. And, we're complaining that we can't get our yard landscaped. Thank God we have a yard. I don't know. So that's just been really humbling. And I think it
has been
perfect.
Perfect timing.
It was perfect timing. And there's another thing. I've been listening to a new book, and I was recommended this book by Leslie Luttrell. So thank you, Leslie. And it really hits to exactly where I feel like God has been working in me on my character and on my spirit so much. And I said that back when we talked about my hair falling out. I said, I feel like there's some sort of symbolic thing to all of this. I got to a point in my life where I kept trying to make goals for myself. I kept trying to pursue these dreams, and it almost basically as if motherhood was not enough.
Consumed you.
As if being a wife and a mother to these 3 children that we were blessed with was not enough. And none of those things were ever fulfilling me. So I was constantly falling down. I was finding my value in having these big goals with my business, with my work, and I wasn't able to achieve them because I do have a family at home, and it was causing me to have some resentment towards my kids or towards my family, and then I felt guilty for feeling the resentment, and there was just this constant loop. And right now, I feel like I am just, for the first time in my life, like I'm not making goals. I'm just asking God where He wants me and using Scripture as my guide for everything when it comes to being a mother, being a wife, and also ultimately to build the kingdom and of God's kingdom here and for eternity. And it's amazing that like right after I really truly prayed that humble prayer, my mentee reached out with some desperate and dire need, and we just hopped in the car this week, and I told her, I said, if you want anything done in life, you're not going to get it done at home by yourself with your phone.
Takes a village.
And no computer, and she's got no computer. Her phone is not working, and the phone's cracked, and all she has is that little tiny screen to fill out applications. I said, we've got to show up. We've got to show up and go to the apartment complexes to look for the Section 8 housing, or get to the college to sign up for the classes, to get the financial aid and all these things. You just have to show up. And that was, like, I felt so fulfilled doing that and being with her, and then coming home and then being the mom that I want to be and what I feel like God has led me to be.
I love it. I think it's awesome.
Okay, so that brings me to another point. My friend Vanessa Banks. So Vanessa, if you're listening to this, hi Vanessa. Vanessa told me one time, she said,
why does your voice get really high when you...
Because that's what girls do.
Okay.
Haven't you ever seen, you want me to do my Instagram, my
no.
Facebook Live impression? Come on, my Facebook Live impression. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, I just wanted to come on here and, oh my God, hey Brenda! I just wanted to come on here and say hi to y'all, and talk to y'all about something that's like been on my heart. Oh my gosh, hey Jill, how are you? How are the kids? No, you call me, okay? Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. What is this essential oil? Oh my God, I love this essential oil. Okay, message me and I will get back to you, okay? All right, so anyway, sorry y'all. Oh my gosh, please excuse my hair. Why? My hair is just a mess right now.
Can you please stop?
Oh, okay, I'll stop. All right, fine. That was pretty good though, right? Hey, I've done
You're
it.
damn
We've
annoying.
all done it.
I hope you haven't done it. That is horrible.
I know, but it is. Okay,
Put a
so
bullet in
all
my
right,
head.
so hey Vanessa, what's up?
What's up, girl?
What's up, Vanessa? All right, so Vanessa told me, she said in the morning, because well, first off, I said, Vanessa, sometimes when I have my morning quiet time with God, I don't feel like I'm in it. Like I don't feel like I can't just get to, I'm too excited for the day. I want to get stuff done. And she said, that is the best time to just play music, like play some contemporary Christian music or whatever resonates with your soul. So I love contemporary Christian music. So the other morning, and I've done this a few times, I woke up early and I came downstairs and instead of journaling, instead of reading, I just played music on my phone and I started cooking.
Yeah, that was nice.
How did you feel when you walked downstairs?
So I missed the Google portal. We would always play the contemporary Christian in the morning on low, and when you wake up, you have the sound going in the morning. It's just on low.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed that, and I've always enjoyed that when the evening time comes. It's just calming. It's mellow. It wakes you up in the morning and it brings you down in the evening, and just gives you some peace. Because the words in those songs, if you listen to them, it literally is like God speaking to you, because they always resonate in the moment that they're supposed to, and they always bring you to the thought that you're supposed to see or hear, and it's so purposeful. So for me, I love it. I started doing that in 2011 when I took that KSPJ 30-day challenge.
Oh, yeah.
You listen to KSPJ for 30 days. I hadn't stopped.
Yeah. So I feel like
When you came down, I'm sorry, to answer your question, I really enjoyed it because it brought us back to 143, April Wind, in the kitchen in the mornings and the evenings, when things were just slower and calmer and it was more intimate because it was a smaller house. And, we were so thankful for being in there because we had come from, where we were, and it was great.
Mm-hmm. Well, I felt a huge, tremendous sense of peace that morning too.
Yep.
And kind of ran us a little too late because then I get a little excited about cooking. But I made a big old casserole.
Oh my God.
I made, this is in the morning. So
I love you cooking, but oh my God, you make a mess.
Well, I made an egg casserole with kale from our garden and eggs from our neighbor.
Yep.
And I made, what else did I make? Oh, no, I'm forgetting.
You made the pot roast?
I made, so the casserole, I made a pot roast. I made about 7 or 8 chicken breasts to freeze and for lunches. I made a pasta salad, and then I started marinating or brining the smoked salmon.
This is like 6:45 in the morning, by the way.
Yeah, it's 6:45 in the morning, and I made, go big or go home.
Just like, what in the hell?
I think this is like an ADHD personality, which I never
We're good
really
for the
knew.
week.
You just can't help it. You just go all for it. But that was basically my food prep for the week. So that was a little nugget that I was going to bring for you today. And we've talked before about food prepping, and we talked about whenever I'm really doing great with Whole30 is food prepping your food just for the week. So even though you may not be actually making a set meal, you're just making some chicken, making some salmon, making some steak, putting them all in separate containers, then making a few different types of carbs, then cooking a few different types of vegetables. You mix and match them all week. You always have food available. Well, there's other ways to food prep too. And you can do that same thing, but instead of having it for the week, you make like 4 times as much and then you freeze it. So one time, now you might want to...
Don't forget that it's in there if you freeze it.
Yes, don't forget. Well, you may want to do it on a smaller scale. Trey and I, tend to do things on a larger scale and that's probably possibly my fault. I mean, maybe.
I love how I get thrown in that, but
you and
I don't
food
stop
prep.
you, so I guess I roll with you.
Trey and I made 80 meals one week. We decided, we're going to food prep, so we made 80 meals. I don't know how that happened. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It was 76.
It was 76, but we went to Costco. We bought the steaks.
It just turned out to be that way. But so let me show
Oh,
you.
and we just got our new grill.
We got our new grill, the flat sear top grill. So, okay, here's how we did
And
it.
Avery left the freezer door open, ruined half of them.
Yes, she did. She left the freezer door open, and that was insane. So you can freezer meals like the actual family size meals, or you can freeze meals that are individual portions. So if you go and buy chicken, fish, steak, ground turkey, whatever, you just choose like 4 different meats and get a good amount of it. And then you cook them all, either you cook them however you want. And maybe your chicken, you have some of them that are cooked like lemon pepper and some that are garlic, salt, and pepper. You just kind of can mix and match your seasonings. Then you would choose like 4 different types of vegetables. And then you would choose 4 different types of carbs. And then you're going to set everything out, cook it all, set it out, let it cool. And then you spoon them into your different individual containers, like your meal prep. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know. You're like going in this whole detailed about food prep stuff.
Because okay, listen, on our podcast, yes, we're just like, talking about random
free
stuff.
flowing today.
We're free flowing, but I also wanted to talk about this too, because I also like to give something that is useful. So not just random stuff that nobody asked for, which nobody's asking for.
I don't think anybody
either.
asked for this, but it's very useful.
Okay, so anyway, you're messing up my flow here.
Sorry,
so you're
go
going to
ahead.
cook all these meats,
Cook
all
all
these
these meats,
vegetables,
and then you're gonna freeze them.
and all of these protein or carbs. Excuse me.
Okay.
You get the individual containers. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them
Is it those
on
black ones?
Yes, it's the black ones with the lid.
And they are microwavable.
They are microwavable. Yes, but you're going to spoon everything into all the different containers with the proper serving size, right?
It's spoon.
Okay. And you ain't happening. You're serving it all into the containers. You want to make sure that everything is cooled off, and then you put the lid on, and then you just stick them all in the freezer. When you're ready to eat them, each individual meal, you just pull it out either the night before or the morning of. Set it on the counter if it's the morning of. Set it in the refrigerator if it's the night before. By the time you're ready to eat it for lunch, you can eat it cold if you are just like super cool like that, or you can heat it up in the microwave, or you can put it into a glass container and heat it in the oven, however you want to do it. But it's a fantastic way to meal prep.
Love it.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Another way to meal prep.
Oh, there's more.
Another way to meal prep is once a week, cook a double portion so that you can freeze part of it. Or freeze the double. So I was making pot roast this week, and
So good.
I made a good. That was
the kids
best.
were like, me and the kids were like, what is this magical thing?
They were like, what is it? This is the most amazing pot roast ever. And I was like, I used a mix.
You followed the directions. What?
I used a mix. It was, I normally don't like to use mixes because they have a lot of junk in them.
Please use the mix.
The mix was so good. Okay, it was Aldi. It was the Aldi pot roast mix, and it's like it's a liquid packet, so it's not a powder. But it says pot roast pub mix.
So the kids not only ate all of their portions that night, but they helped clean the kitchen up because they wanted to do the prep, and they made their lunches the next day with the same meal.
I know.
That
Well,
was a win.
so Avery ended up not taking it to school because I told her, I was like, I was actually going to.
You took that away from her?
Well, she said they were getting she was getting special gluten-free,
Got it.
dairy-free pizza, so she was excited about that. I was like, okay, well, you don't need it, because the reason I made the double portion was so that this summer we're going camping and we're going to go for 3 weeks in an RV, and I want to be able to bring all of these meals. So there's a lot of meals that you'll make that won't freeze well, but there's a lot of meals that will freeze well. So something like pot roast will freeze really, really well.
That works so good. The meal prepping on the trips.
Yes.
We did that in Destin.
So you freeze the pot roast and put it into a the freezer bags, like the sealing kind, the seal.
Yeah. Not press and seal.
No. Ziploc.
Shrink.
Vacuum
on now.
sack. You vacuum sack.
There it is.
Yes, you vacuum
Good
sack
job.
them, and then you write on them. And sometimes I write, taste disgusting, eat last. Or sometimes I wrote, absolutely amazing, do not throw away. So I'm collecting now. I'm starting my arsenal
Why would you even keep the taste disgusting?
Just in case I'm out of town, I need to feed you.
Good God.
I'm just
I'm going to
kidding.
go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, you would. So you can start your collection of having freezer meals. You can save them for a rainy day. You can bring them on your camping trip, whatever you want to do. So look on Pinterest for meals that freeze well. Okay.
There you go.
And then soups also freeze really, really well, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last way that that I have a suggestion on meal prep, and we've done this many a times, is we've done freezer meals, but this is where everything is raw. It's not cooked. So, for example, let's say that I wanted to make a freezer meal and it was fajita chicken, okay? I would take my raw chicken breasts, cut them up, put them in the freezer bag, pour in my salsa, add in the tomatoes.
So you season them, do everything, and then you freeze them raw.
Yes. And then when you're ready to cook them, then you just thaw them out, stick them in the crock pot.
Got it.
Okay. So there are a ton of meals that work really, really great for that.
Yep.
So look on Pinterest for that. So that's kind of my little tip on.
Man, it helps. Everybody's got busy lifestyles. Everybody, you know, is going and blowing. And if you don't put nutrition first, you don't get through the day as well. And you do a really good job of getting our family prepped because of all these techniques. So it works.
Thank you. So that's all for today, folks.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got.
That's all we got. Okay.
Right.
Well, y'all have a wonderful week, and
Well-
we'll talk to you. What? Did you have something else to say?
No, I was going to say how amazing you looked. What are these skirts you keep wearing and everybody stops you going down the road?
So I posted about it on Facebook.
Is that one of them?
Yeah. Okay, so I became an advocate for this company called Francis and Benedict, and they are a nonprofit organization that imports skirts that are made with this beautiful like African wax fabric, and they import these skirts from Togo, Africa, and it supports the women in Togo, Africa. So if you're watching on YouTube, here I'll stand up real quick.
So we'll be walking, like we went to the art festival and last Saturday, and I actually didn't want to go to that, and she forced me, and once I got there, it was good.
Yeah, you're talking to everybody.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, just saying.
I was talking to everybody.
Yeah.
But you kept getting stopped with the skirt that you were wearing. And every time you've worn one of those skirts, multiple women stop you and say, "Where'd you get that?" And you're definitely a good promoter for it.
Well, thanks. I love them. I think that skirts are a classic look that just never go out of style. Today I'm wearing one that comes to my knees, but the other skirts that he's talking about, those ones go all the way down to the floor.
You wanted me to walk behind her and hold it up like a princess?
I did. I wanted Trey to walk behind me and hold my skirt up in the back, but he just won't. Somebody just tell him.
It's not there yet.
But anyway, I have a very colorful one on today, and we'll post a picture about it on Facebook.
There you go.
And everybody keeps asking me. I'm kidding. That's
it.
what they say on Instagram. All right. If you want these skirts, go to amycassels.com, scroll down and click Fair Trade Skirts, and then you'll see them. They're pretty amazing.
There you go.
All right. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of According to the Cassels with Amy and Tray. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. To stay up to date with the Cassels, follow Amy on Instagram @acassels. Until next time, have faith, enjoy life, and love abundantly.